Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Indiana Pacers beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 114-105 to eliminate the Cavaliers. Tough loss to this Cavaliers team. They had such a good regular season, were so great at home this year, and for them to go 0-3 at home in these playoffs with how good they were at home, it's got to be disappointing for them. But another really, really huge lead that they blow. They were up 19 in this game in the second quarter, and they blew that lead. What it reminds me of is, I think this is a great comparison. This was just like game two, but it wasn't as close down the stretch. The Pacers had a huge shot by Tyrese Halliburton at the end of that game that helped the Pacers get a win in that game. The difference was the Pacers had a more firm lead than this one, but the way the Cavs led the Cavs led so big early in the game, just like they did in game two, and then blew it. It just reminds you of game two. They were up by 19 in this game, and then Indiana would go up double figures themselves later on in the game, which was crazy. They'd go up by like 11 or something like that. I think it was 11. It was like 90-79 at one point in the third quarter. That was the fourth quarter when it was 90-79 and Indiana had their biggest lead of the game. So it was tough for this Cavaliers team to go down like that. But I think you've gotta be excited for the way this Pacers team is going, conference finals. And I think it was so good to see a team that was so bad on the road this year, 20-20 on the road this year, do so well against one of the best teams at home this season, a team that was 34-7 in the regular season at home, 2-0 in the postseason before this series at home, so 36-7 going into the series at home, and the Pacers went 3-0 in that home crowd in Cleveland. That Cleveland crowd was loud in all three games, and the Pacers still managed to win all three of those games. I think you've got to be impressed going into the conference finals. And look, the Knicks are a great team, and this is no disrespect to the Knicks, but you've got an easier, and this is nothing against the Knicks, this is just credit to last year's Boston Celtics. You've got a easier matchup in the conference finals this year in the New York Knicks than you did last year, the Boston Celtics. That doesn't mean the New York Knicks are easy, because they are not. I think the Knicks will. My prediction: I think the Knicks win the series. If the Knicks win the series against Celtics, I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks to win that series. But I can't say that it's not an easier series for this Indiana Pacers team, especially if Halliburton stays healthy. Remember, Halliburton missed like the last two games of that series against the Celtics. Not only that, as good as I think this Knicks team is, I don't think they're as good as last year's Celtics. So with that being said, I believe that the Pacers should have themselves an easier matchup in the conference finals. It doesn't mean the Knicks are going to be easy. I'd go with the Knicks right now, unless something changed. But that doesn't mean anything to the Pacers for me predicting the Knicks to win. It's just giving credit to the Knicks, and it doesn't mean anything about me saying something about the Knicks being an easier matchup for the Pacers than last year in the conference finals, because that's just credit to last year's champion Celtics. But But it should be an interesting matchup in the conference finals if we see the Knicks close things out like they're supposed to tomorrow or in Game 6, or potentially Game 7. It has to be. I don't see the Knicks losing 3 straight games with no Jason Tatum. But it will be a rematch of the second round last year in the playoffs. A little bit of a new team. You've got Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges, who weren't a part of that series last year. It should be an interesting series, and I'm going to kind of go over. I'm going to preview that series a little bit more when we see the Knicks officially win, and we know the matchups. When those matchups are in that series, but it should be a fun conference finals between New York and Indiana, assuming New York gets the job done. But this Pacers team was great tonight. Siakam had 21, 8, and 5. Aaron Nesmith wasn't as great in scoring as he's been in other games in the series with 13 points, but he did have 13 rebounds. Great with the rebounding and was their leading rebounder tonight. Miles Turner, he wasn't great scoring-wise, 10 points, 7 rebounds, but he did have a huge 3 in this game tonight. That was his only 3, and it was a huge 3. That was probably the dagger for the Indiana Pacers late in the fourth quarter. Andrew Nembhard had 18, 6, and 3. He was great in the Pacers' last conference finals, apart to Halliburton's injury, but was still great last year in the conference finals. We'll see how he does this next time around this year. Halliburton had 31, 8, and 6. 10 for 15 from the floor, 6 for 10 for 3 for Halliburton. Outside of that, that's it for the starters. Not a lot of bench, a decent amount of bench points. 9 points for Thomas Bryant. He was killer. Made a 3, which he's capable of doing. He just doesn't do it often. 4 for 6, 3 rebounds with his 9 points in the steal. Obi Toppin had 5 points, 1 for 3, 3 rebounds. 24 points for Evan Mobley with 11 rebounds, I was moving on to the Cavaliers, but there were a couple more players to go over. Benedict Madron, 4 points. Ben Shepherd, 3 points, 1 rebound, 1 steal for Shepherd, and that was it for the Pacers bench. Let's get to the Cavaliers now. Mitchell had 35 points, 9 rebounds, 4 steals. As good as 1 block. As good as Mitchell was tonight, his poor free throw shooting hurt this Cavs team. Here's a great sequence. He missed 6 free throws tonight. He got fouled on a 3-point shot. It was 106 to 100. He misses all 3 free throws. The Cavs get a stop. Mitchell makes a corner 3. So it's something like that. Like Mitchell and Mitchell before that had hit a 3. That's a sequence where Mitchell should have scored 9 straight points, and instead it was 106 to 103. It should have been a 106 tied ball game right there after that Mitchell 3, but he missed all 3 free throws there, missed another free throws on the night. Mitchell's poor free throw shooting hurt this Cavs team tonight. It's part of the reason why he is yet to go into conference finals after this loss tonight. 8 for 25, 4 for 13 from 3. 11 points for Garland. He was terrible. 4 for 16. 4 rebounds, 3 assists. 9 points for Jared Allen. 4 rebounds. Evan Mobley had 24 points, 11 rebounds, as I already mentioned. Off the bench, DeAndre Hunter was great. 12 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Ty Jerome played great. Didn't play in the first half. Only played in the second half. He had 8 points, 2 for 3 from 3. Was 3 for 5 from the floor. He brought some good energy for the Cavs in the second half, but it wasn't enough. Cavs lose 114 to 105. Their 64-win season is over. Didn't even get to the conference finals. Pacers 50-32, back to the conference finals, second straight year. A lot easier as it was last year. They had to win a game 7. This year they are taking it in 5 games to go to the conference finals. So we'll see if things are easier in the conference finals this year for this team. They got swept last year. Look, it only takes 1 game for it to be a better conference finals for the Pacers than it was last year. Let me know your thoughts on this game in the comment section, and peace out.